Hey, welcome to the Big Show. Dim lights and stiff drinks, the dive bars of Seattle. We like to visit those old historic drinking establishments and dive bars. And usually we boast about how, we're not recording from the comfy confines of some home studio somewhere.
What are we doing this week?
What are we doing tonight? We actually are recording from the comfy confines of each of our home studios. We had a little scheduling mishap, some last-minute scheduling changes, so we couldn't record our normal episode. So we decided to kind of do something on the fly. So tonight, this is what we're doing. We decided that we're going to record via Zoom. If this was like the early 90s, early 2000s, this would be, what would we call it, an e-meeting? Like they used to always put an E before everything. If you were doing anything online. Like, I'm going to give you an e-gift, and we're having an e-meeting. Well, we're having an e-meeting tonight. So that's why you don't hear the chatter and the clings of bottles in the background and the music and the crowd. We are recording from our home studios. And what we're going to do tonight, a special Thanksgiving episode.
Special episode.
A special Thanksgiving episode. Thank you. And
now they just call it commerce. It's no longer e-commerce. It's just how business is done.
Yeah, E has been taken out of the equation. That's probably a good thing.
It's like horseless carriage at this point. Like what they called automobiles.
So we're going to record a special episode tonight. So we're going to go around and we're going to talk about each of our favorite old drinking establishments that we used to visit back in the day that are no longer around. Seattle in the last 15, 20 years, a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, a lot of bowling alleys and those kind of places have met the big wrecking ball in the sky and have closed down, sadly. So we're going to just take a trip down memory lane and visit some of our favorite ones from the past that are no longer around. And like I said, this is going to be kind of a short episode, and then we're going to resume recording here soon. We're wrapping up season 2. We got a couple more episodes that we're going to be recording. We're going to be going to Pogies. It's going to be our next visit, Pogies Tavern in West Seattle. And then we're going to be visiting Shorty's in Belltown for our final episode of season 2. And then we're going to take a little break and then we'll resume season 3. But for tonight, we're going to talk about our favorite dive bars from the past. And so to kind of kick things off, Lou, what was your favorite dive bar from the past? And what would you like to tell us about it?
He's on mute, rookie.
Yeah, we got Lou on here. Yeah, you gotta
unmute. You moron.
Is that a Maroni? I'll take it. All right, but anyway, let's do some housekeeping. We got to introduce the house band, Satan's Pilgrims. Their name's going to come up later tonight. We got the mayor of Sudstown here, Jeremy. How you doing?
How's it going?
As always with us is producer Supreme Bob Trombley and resident historian Brad.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so my favorite drinking place from the past is the Buckaroo Tavern in Fremont. I used to live in Fremont for a couple of years back in the 90s, mid-90s, around there. And every Friday night, I'd get together with the crew, and we'd go hit the Buck for a night of drinking and pool playing. And it was such a cool place. It just had such a cool vibe, and I used to love going there. And
wait, where was the Buckaroo?
I don't remember what street. I want to say, was it on 36? It was in the Fremont neighborhood. So a lot of times we would just walk there. It was close enough. But yeah, lots of good memories at the Buck. They had awesome nachos, I remember. But the cool thing about the Buckaroo, so I don't remember what year they closed. I want to say they closed like 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. I don't know. I don't remember the exact year. I was really bummed when they closed, but the cool thing about it is when they closed down, they kept all their stuff, the owners did, in like a garage. And then they had an estate sale, and I was actually able to go to the estate sale and see all the old Buckaroo stuff, like all the sign, for instance, that used to be in front with the cowboy, all the beer signs they had inside, all the stuff, all their old seats and stuff. So it was really cool being able to go back and see all the old stuff, taking a trip down memory lane years later.
And we just saw the sign recently, right?
Yeah, it's in Georgetown. So John Bennett, the guy that owns a lot of places in West Seattle, he bought it. And where we saw it at, he owns that place. I think it's called Georgetown Brewer, or what is it? The Georgetown Bar or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right next
so
to Jules
he had it
Mays.
restored. Right next to Jules Mays. Yeah, so he had it restored. It's hanging there in all its old glory. Looks awesome. So if you're ever in Georgetown, pop in and say hello to an old friend, the old Buckaroo sign. Yeah. So Lou,
Wait, you still owe us a Buckaroo story. Tell us about the time you got so ripped there that they had to take you out on a log.
Yeah, no, I don't have any good Buckaroo stories.
It was always
but
dark.
That's the thing, though, is it was considered like a biker bar. When you went there was always motorcycles out front. So you always, when we first started going there, it was like, uh-oh.
Oh,
but
so
the thing
straight
is
up.
I talked to those dudes, the bikers that were there. They weren't like Hell's Angels or anything like that. They were laid back Pacific Northwest bikers. So they were like totally cool. No, they weren't out there looking for a fight. So the whole time I was there, like my 2 years of going there, I never once saw a fight. I never saw the bikers get pissed off. It was just the intimidation factor of seeing all the bikes in front and being like, oh shit. Yeah.
That's good.
The bikes out front, turns out they're all like Microsoft retirees.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they were all cool.
Okay, I'm gonna buy a Harley. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Last question. Was the uniform part of it? You know, like jeans, leather vest over a denim jacket, patches, beard, headband, leathers.
Kind of. They weren't part of a gang. Like the bikers there, they were just kind of hobbyists more or less. But I never met them where like they were part of a gang where they had patches or anything like that.
Well, no,
that's
not a gang. I mean, that's just the dress code.
It's
like
back.
Total cosplay Harley riders. They just you can't ride a Harley and look like us. You gotta put on the
way to make some instant enemies there, Lou.
Yeah. Harley riders, come on.
But this was the 90s. Everyone was kind of dressing like that. So
save it for the convention.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, you want me to do the OK Hotel was mine.
All right.
Oh yeah.
The OK Hotel to me was a bar and music venue, and it's located right under the Alaska Way Viaduct. And the club there had a 15-year run that came to an end in 2001 from the Nisqually earthquake, which damaged several buildings in the area. Remember that thing? So yeah, it shut down at that. And what sits there now is a high-rise called the OK Hotel Apartments. And similar to the Central Saloon from the previous podcast, in the early 90s, it was a place to see a bunch of awesome bands before they became huge, right? It was the first club where Nirvana played Smells Like Teen Spirit. How about that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all those guys played there. Soundgarden played there, Mother Love Bone, Green River, etc. Queens of the Stone Age played their first live show there, right? And another claim, this last claim to fame was, you guys remember the movie Singles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a point where they all go to an Alice in Chains show, and that was filmed there. Yeah. So I do have a good memory of that place, and it was a show I went to see with my friend Rob, and he was like, yeah, I have a friend of a friend. He said that the band's awesome. We should go check them out. They're at the OK Hotel. And so we got there, and they were second on the bill. And the band that was first was Hater. Remember Hater?
Yeah, I actually do, yeah.
Yeah, Hater was a side project of Ben Shepherd, the bass player for Soundgarden. And Gus had that album, and there were a couple good songs on it. Who Do I Kill was my favorite song on there. So anyway, Rob's friend's band comes on, and they killed. It was like a mix of Melvins and noise punk, just all heaviness and noise, and the singer was wailing, growling away. And I do remember the drummer was a monster. I'd never seen anybody hit that hard. I don't know how the drum set held up, you know? And it was amazing the kid could handle it. And they were a chaos band. They were like spitting on stage and wrenching on their instruments and just trashing them, and like amazing energy, thunderous noise. And the crowd just went nuts for it, right? And then Hater had to follow that. And like Hater was very 90s alternative, you know? It was like loose, kind of garagey. The guitars weren't heavy with tons of distortion, and they were just getting blown off the stage. And so then they tried to like step up their game and play their harder songs, and they were like, not even anything compared to the previous band. And so they started to try to be attitude, and they were like banging on their instruments too and just kind of scowling at everybody. And so it was pretty weak. But my friend Rob, he could get a little salty. And he was like, these guys suck. You said they were good. They're trying to match the energy of the first band, and they look like posers. And so then he started to heckle them.
It sounds like a hater to me.
Yeah, total hater. You
Yeah.
guys named yourself hater. You should be ready for this. And like, you guys need to turn down the suck. Like after song, posers, quit trying to be something you're not. Boo. And it's a small enough club that, like, obviously the band was looking at him all night. And so Ben Shepherd started staring us down because he probably didn't know which one of us it was coming from. And, but it was like...
It sounds like a great friend to take to a concert.
Yeah, right? Like, what could go wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, so Ben was staring us down and was like, what, are we supposed to be scared? And then after one song, he goes, okay, the next song, this is called Who Do I Kill? This is my favorite song on the record. And he just like stared at us the whole time he played it. And yeah, so I couldn't resist myself. After that, I was like, who do I kill, Ben? We know who you're going to kill. Who do I kill? And after every song, he was getting that. And so at the end of the night, the shower was over. We had a drink, went in the bathroom, and me and Robert are doing our thing. And when we turn around, there's fucking Ben. And he was like leaning against the wall with a cigarette in his mouth and hair over his eyes, trying to look tough. And he was like, you guys got a fucking problem? And Rob doesn't really flinch from anything. He had a great line. He was like, no problem here. We had fun watching your asses getting blown off the stage. And then he hit him with we're leaving. You can go in the stall and play with your dick now. And then we just walked out. I assume he didn't follow us in there to kick our ass, or he would have brought some backup, because two of us. But yeah, that's my encounter with Soundgarden, I guess.
What were you guys doing in the bathroom together before Ben Shepherd came in?
Mm-hmm. Your thing, so you said.
It's not like it is now with gender-neutral bathrooms with locks on it. It was the trough with a bunch of ice in it.
Okay.
It was like a three-person.
Like in your noses or something. Yeah.
No, we were just melting ice.
Oh, yeah. Looking to freshen up your drinks. Okay. Wow. So, yeah. What way to make some enemies and piss off a band and all in one night.
It was fun though. They kind of deserved it. They were just dying up there and trying to act all tough, and they were posers. Good for Rob for letting them know. Yeah, you can't handle a heckler? Come on now.
Note to self: do not see a show with Lou and Rob.
Yeah. Said Rob. Yeah, I was trying to cover up your name, Brad.
All right. Well,
so, Jeremy,
I've got an anecdote for your pissing off the band. OK.
Oh, yes, please.
So I also love the OK Hotel. That was a great venue. I used to live in First Hill area, so it's kind of equidistant from like downtown and Belltown and Capitol Hill or whatever. So we used to kind of trudge around in that kind of triangle corridor there, and the OK Hotel was probably one of the furthest, but it was one of my favorites. And I have a story where going in there, they had a cover charge to get in, which they didn't always do, but they sometimes had a cover for a live band. So it was like $5 or something cheap, but they didn't tell you what the cover was for. Like we didn't know like what the bands were or anything like that. It was just they were just charging a cover, and I was with a couple of friends where like him and Han going, should we pay $5? I don't know. If you got another bar that doesn't have a cover on, well, fuck it, we're here. Let's just pay the $5. We pointed up the $5, go in there. There's nobody in there. It was completely dead. It was probably like 10 o'clock at night or something. There was like nobody in there. probably because most people are like $5 cover, fuck that, and they went over to another one of the bars in Pioneer Square. But just a few minutes later, completely unannounced, not on the bill, was Corey Glover from Living Color. And this was just after he had split in Living Color, and he had his own band that he put together, kind of like for a little side project. And he did just an amazing, amazing show at the OK Hotel, completely unannounced. There was maybe 20 people in the joint. It was like nobody there, but he just wailed. A lot of original material, but also threw in a couple of Living Color songs just to juice it up, and it was fantastic, amazing show.
Nice. Shout out to the OK Hotel.
For sure. That brings up one that I wanted to talk about there too, which is the good old Nightlight, which was another one that kind of bit the big one in one of the initial waves of gentrification of Belltown back in the early 2000s, and that was a real favorite one. Like I said, I used to live in Capitol Hill, so we'd have to choose between heading down to like Belltown or downtown for one of the bars like the Nightlight, or heading up to Capitol Hill and hitting up something like Moe's or the Comet or something like that.
Yeah, I met a lot of people there.
Yeah, and just the Nightlight for our listener is right next to the Moore Theater, which is a classic old theater where you'd see a band that could sell 2,000 seats or something like that.
Yeah,
and the Nightlight was kind of like, it felt underground, right? It was like dark. You kind of went down. There were just various nooks around there.
What was originally owned
in the
by
basement,
the Curcio Brothers.
Oh,
yep.
It was one of their first strip joint. It was like kind of a titty bar. It was like an early strip bar. And
you could tell walking into the joint, it had some like 70s decor that had not been touched or dusted or cleaned since it was originally hung up. And it definitely had kind of this retro vibe, but like before retro vibes were kind of cool, like retro vibe because the place had just been kind of forgotten. But it had all sorts of like kitsch stuff, and they had like chandeliers and shit from the ceilings and stuff. It just had a really cool feel to it. It's funny bringing that up, Lou, about one thing I was thinking that's kind of cool about a lot of the places, not only that we have recorded at, but that we're also kind of reminiscing about that aren't any here anymore, is a cool dive bar feature, which is you got the bar, okay, that's kind of mandatory for a dive bar, but then you've also got like these little places either spread around the joint or whatever where you can just like seclude yourself. Right, like I'm going to go here with my friends and whatever. I'm going to go sit alone and cry into my beer, or whatever. You got like these little areas where you can, exactly. Yeah. Like you do whatever the hell kind of illicit activities you want to do, or whatever. So often it seems like more often than not, a good dive bar's got the place where you can hang out and rub elbows with some buddies at the bar or whatever. But if you want to be left the fuck alone, you got like these little nooks and crannies. Oh my gosh! And the bathrooms of that bar were always really hopping. Probably sometimes more so than the actual bar itself.
Another cool bar that is no longer around that was fairly close to the Nightlight was the Cloud Room. Did you guys?
Oh yeah.
Late at night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I only know the name. I've never actually been there.
Well, it's not open anymore. They closed it down, but it used to be like a kind of an after hours place almost you'd go to, and it was rooftop downtown, and if it was during the summertime it was awesome because you would just hang out and drink.
What was it? Do you remember what building was it at the top of? That classic building had a name. It's not, the whole building's gone now, but that was a classic building.
I have been up there. It's the Hamlin. The Hamlin.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I
have been there. I take it back. That place kicks ass. Kicked ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to do a tag on your story. I was in the Nightlight when the Real World Seattle came there.
Oh, jeez. Nice. Oh, my God. Do you remember that show?
Yeah, explain to the listener, Jeremy, what is The Real World on MTV?
I'm probably not a good person to explain. I only saw maybe one episode or something, but everybody was kind of so it came out before I lived in Seattle, but it was definitely even if you'd never been to Seattle, it just had the mystique, and then you see these people, and it just had this kind of weird, kind of creepy feel to it, because it's okay, it's supposed to be kind of showing how kind of cool Seattle can be, but it also had a real kind of pretentious kind of faking it.
Well, it was the MTV
to it,
and that's that was really the first reality show. if you want to credit it. They just took 6 people,
that's right.
6
Yeah, it was the first reality
stereotypes.
show.
This guy wants to be a dancer. This guy's an actor. This guy's a nerd. This guy's a jock. Put them in a house and film how they feel about things. And so can you imagine, you just described the nightlight. It's dark. We're partying. Get the fuck out of here with your cameras. And that's exactly what happened. So they thought
That's the reception they got everywhere in Seattle. Seattle was down with the real world.
You heard about that, Brad?
Oh yeah, wherever they went, they would get heckled. I was on Capitol Hill, and they went up there, and people were like throwing shit at them and yelling at them. And Seattle did not embrace the real world at all when they were filming here.
That's so funny. That's right. And I think Seattle represent, like in New York and LA and Chicago and Atlanta, everyone's like, ooh, cameras. I want to be on cameras. And Seattle are like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Cameras.
Yeah.
We want to keep it fake.
Especially the nightlight.
Oh my God, we talked about that in an episode or two ago. The whole idea of the Seattle freeze, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Like,
it's
the
real,
real
man.
world.
It's real.
It's real.
That's why you go to a dive bar. It's like I need to get out of the cold.
The real world.
So let's do some round robin, just honorable mention. Throw out bar names. I'll start. Eileen's / Ernie Steele's.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yep, which is actually
Capitol
still open. It's just a different name and totally different vibe and feel to it. It's like Julia's, right? It's like a little cafe now called Julia's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll second. I'm gonna second Eileen's. God, I used to go there so much with Steve.
Yeah.
For some reason, me and Steve used to go there all the time, and that place was awesome.
All right, I got 2 of them for you. One was literally right next door to where I lived. You guys remember it? And it's not a dive bar by any means, but it had just an unbelievable vibe and atmosphere that has never since been replicated. Vito's up in First Hill, remember? Okay, that one.
Yeah.
Right? Which I just read a little while ago that it's closed now, but they're planning on trying to reopen it as Vito's again, maybe. So, all right. After a very mysterious fire apparently gutted the joint. So, all right, we'll keep our fingers crossed. The other one that was really fun and is just dripping with some Seattle history over in the U District, the Red Robin Tavern.
Oh yeah.
You guys remember that one? Right on the Montlake Cut there. Great place. One of the, if not the first, Red Robin restaurant.
Red Robin a dive bar?
Well,
no, totally not. Yeah.
Bar.
Nope.
It started out as a dive bar.
Oh, it did.
Well, yeah.
Well, it was called Red Robin Tavern. Yeah, it wasn't even considered a restaurant when it first opened.
Wow.
It's basically known as Sam's Tavern, and I want to record there for season 3, but the guy that owned Red Robin sold it, and then it closed. But his son now runs Sam's Tavern, so hopefully we'll record there soon.
Nice. Is that the Sam's Tavern that has multiple locations and has the killer burger?
Yeah, but there's one Sam's Tavern that has all the old Red Robin memorabilia, so that's what we're going to record.
Nice. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right. Brad, you're next. Dead Dive Bar.
I was going to say Eileen's too with you.
Nice. All right, so we're getting close to time to knock it on the head, would you say?
Yeah.
Can't even do what you're drinking. I'm like not drinking nothing. It's pathetic. It's like,
okay,
we need to screw this recording from home and get our asses in a bar, for the love of God.
I have Stone Brewing, delicious IPA, 7.7.
There we go. All right.
Yep, that's a good beer,
you
Brad.
can take a couple of chugs for the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm not drinking anything either.
God, what a bunch of
Thank
losers.
God one of us is.
Oh, yeah. Well, now that we're talking about this shit, I think I need to sign off and go grab myself a brewski.
All right. Well, Brad, take us out.
Well, happy holidays. It is right about Thanksgiving in case you're listening to this episode. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We will regroup probably after Thanksgiving and get one of our final episodes of the season, right?
Yeah, we're going to be doing Pogies next, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, you Peace out.
Thanks, everybody.